Well, it is the 30th of August, the year 2023. Welcome to EBN Prime Edition tonight, right here with me, Sammy Adika, as I tell you of news making headlines, well, today. But first, remember that currently the police service is collecting information, or rather the public view on the current proposed new police uniforms set to be rolled in the days to come. Remember, we shall be taking a look on that and many more, especially the public's opinion on the proposed new uniforms. But first, taking a look on matters making headlines in Kakamega County, President William Ruto has announced a 500 million Kenya shillings allocation for Kakamega County's aggregation and industrial park. This move aims to boost agro-processing, value addition and farm produce collection in the region. Emphasizing the importance of affordable fertilizers, the head of state urged residents to leverage subsidized prices for higher farm yields. The president also revealed plans to partner with Kenya Seed to boost seed production. To address market concerns, the president affirmed that 4 billion Kenya shillings have been designated to directly buy maize from farmers to stabilize prices and ensure a dependable market.
Tutaweka hapa shilingi milioni 500. 250 kutoka county, 250 kutoka national government. Na ni kwa sababu hapa mambo yetu ni matatu. Tunataka kutumia hii aggregation center kukusanya mazao yenu, kufanya value addition, kufanya agro processing, tuongete hata na manufacturing, ndio ile pesa mkulima kwa mazao yake anapata iongezeke. Na vile vile hii facility hapa tutakuwa na ajira ya vijana karibu 1000 hapa peke yake. Na vile vile tunataka kupanga vile tutakuwa na exports ya products ya taifa letu la Kenya. Kwa hivyo naona mtu hapo ametumia nusu gunia tu peke yake hapo. Naona mmoja amejaribu ametumia gunia moja. Kulima ni ile ile, kupalilia ni ile ile, lakini ukiongeza magunia 2 ya mbolea utafuna badala ya magunia 15 utafikisha 30. Sababu hiyo ndio njia ya kuondoa njaa. Ndio watu wasio wanaandamana, wanafanya valisha sufuria kwa kichwa watu wazima.
And now on matters dialogue, National Dialogue Committee is now formally established after the leaders signed the agreement framework embedding the committee and its deliberation in law. The committee has agreed on a 60-day time framework within which consensus will be sought on issues on the table for discussion. The two national houses had already approved the talks framework, paving way for discussions on the issues raised by the government and the opposition.
We have made tremendous progress. Wahenga ndio alisema ukiona vielea ujue vimeundwa. So a lot of work has been done. Ndio sasa vitu vimeanza kuelea. We want to encourage Kenyans to continue to have faith in this team. The cameras I'm sure will have focused on National Dialogue Committee. We've given ourselves an acronym, NADCO. So ukimwona mama pale mheshimiwa namuita NADCO not hardcore or Hassan Omar, all of us. And I can tell you the gelling is tremendous, and that's why we are making progress. We thank our technical teams, and indeed we thank our both houses of Parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate, because they have now given their unanimous approval and support to the work of this team. So, yeah, we're going to sign the framework agreement soon after this, and we're also going to sign agreement on the issues that will be presented. And we're going to tell Kenyans what to do next. We continue to reiterate that this is serious national work. If ever there was a moment that this country should come together, it is now.
Be able to communicate that decision once we meet again on Friday. On the question of whether we are able to stop the selection panel, we are not writing to them to stop doing their work. It's just to take what has been described by the Honorable Eugene Omaro in our meeting as judicial notice of the ongoings of this national dialogue team. Therefore, even as they progress their work, then they take note that it's part of the issues that we are engaging on. And for sure, I am certain when we begin to engage with stakeholders, those are among the stakeholders most likely that we'll be engaging with.
Now, on matters new police uniform, the latest police reforms that involve a change in the design of the police uniform has sparked debate among citizens, whom the National Police Service has invited to offer their views on the best design to proceed with between the current deep navy blue and the light blue color that resembles the police uniforms before the year 2018. Wangoi Munywa, a human communications consultant, says that the police should focus on how citizens will perceive them, as color and design have a heavy bearing on this effect. Here is Victor Nzobeli with the report.
The National Police Service has unveiled the new uniform designs that will replace the current Persian blue regalia introduced in 2018. Different versions of the uniform were on display on Tuesday at the police pavilion in South C, Nairobi, where officers and members of the public were invited to give their views.
We have presented made-up uniforms to the officers, and they have voted through acclamation of what they want, and that is what we are going to follow. We are now doing public participation for both our uniformed officers and any other members of the public, and we are only concerned with the design, as you saw in the hall, not about texture, not about standard.
It is in this regard that the EBN crew went outside to gather the views and opinions of Kenyans, and here is what they had to say.
Kama inaweza rudi ile ilikuwa ya zamani, hiyo uniform ilikuwa nzuri kwa sababu ilikuwa ngumu kuiga ile uniform. Na ukiona hiyo uniform ulikuwa unajua huyo ni askari. Lakini kwa saa hii ile iko uwezi jua uniform ya askari ama ni nani, kwa sababu akiwa katikati ya wengine bado inakuwa tu ni kama uniform ya ile zingine za kawaida. Na pia ile material ilikuwa rahisi kwa sababu ile material hata ukiambiwa utembee usiku inashikana na mwili wakati wa baridi. Lakini ile ya kwanza ukiona hiyo kaki yake, ile material yake ilikuwa inaunda, hakuna pale pengine ungeenda uione hata huku kwa soko ama wapi. Hiyo ilikuwa tu inaundwa na askari, na wao wanaundua uniform ikiwa yao peke yao.
Navy blue chini. Juu hii ingine inakaa ya Mothers Union. Na unakutana na askari na hata uoni kama ni askari. So mimi I'll go with the previous one. Yeah, ile
hiyo uniform ya saizi na kitambo I support ya saizi, sababu hii ya saizi inafanya they look decent. Ukiwa at a distance of 100 meters ukiwaona unaona hiyo blue color, at least wanakaa wanang'aa kuna nyota, like the other one wanakaa wameparara hata kama hana kitu hawezi osha. Unajua hii kama hujaosha iko tu sawa, lakini ile kama lazima waoshe na wana pesa. So mimi am for the current one.
Government is saying right now I'm supporting the current one because of the economic ambao tuko nao sahi. We are in a very bad place ya kutengeneza uniform zingine. So on my suggestion, I can suggest that wangoje like 2 to 3 years so that wa change. Lakini for now, if I wa change kwa sababu kuna watu sahi wanalala njaa, kuna watu sahi wako na shida mingi sana ambazo hizo pesa zinazowasaidia. So waendelee tu na hii uniform ya sahi until mambo kikuwa mzuri ndio bado watachange baadaye. Lakini for now, no, I say no.
Wangoi Munywa, a communication consultant at Lead Speak Rich, notes that the police service should focus on changing perception of Kenyans through the proposed uniforms, as the color and design will affect how many will relate to the officers.
When looking at it, it's important to realize that, it's a national asset, and these are emblems. They are things that we associate with, and they are part of the pride that we associate with our room. Police uniforms compared to, for example, what is going on with the rest of Africa, that tends to be an identifier for us as a nation. And as such, I can see why there's a lot of, strong opinions around.
Addressing the ongoing debate on whether the proposed uniforms should have pockets or not, This is what Wangui has to say.
We look at pockets in that sense, then yes, they might want to reconsider the design, because the perception is that, will these pockets be used to store brides? And that's what I said, I alluded to earlier. If this uniform change is also coming with a change of service by the police to the public, then this is fine.
Victor Enzobeli for EBN TV.
And hundreds of youth turned out in Nyahururu and Kilifi for Kenya Defence Forces recruitment. However, a good number of youth in Nyahururu were turned away for failure to meet the requirements needed to join the forces. According to senior officers in charge of the recruitment, the exercise went on smoothly and KDF has stipulated the requirements. Hence, no one can bribe their way into the forces.
Kwa majina naitwa Joseph. So nilikuwa nimefika hapa Nyahururu kwa shughuli ya recruitment. Na recruitment imekuwa poa, but tumekuwa na challenges kidogo. Kama mimi yangu, nitaongea yangu, nimekosa kufaulu kwa sababu ya majina, in issues. Like majina yangu venye imefuatana kwa ID na certificates. So hiyo ni makosa yenye hatujakuwa na information ati tunafaa majina yetu yafanane.
Nilikuwa nimekuja hapa uwanja ya Nyahururu Stadium kujaribu hii sekta ya jeshi, lakini unfortunately nilitolewa juu ya kukosa form class 8 certificate. Nilikuwa tu na form 4 certificate. Siko na information yoyote ati ya form ya class 8 unaweza beba juu hata ile kazi mingi tunaulizanga hatuitishangu class 8 certificate. Tunaendanga tu na form 4 na ID.
The recruitment process has been smooth. We've had many young Kenyans who have shown up to seek opportunities to work in the KDF. The turnout has been great, and the process has been smooth. So far, the recruitment process is going on well, and we are expecting to recruit the most qualified persons who meet our qualifications to join up the Kenya Defence Forces. Since I've started the recruitment today, we've not had a case of fake documents. Only cases of disparities of names or of people who have their ages is a bit outside of what we are looking for.
The message is that actually you've seen that hata hapo nyuma kulikuwa na various messages ambazo zilikuwa zinaingia kwa simu za watu that kuna watu ambao ni fraudsters wako huko nje na walikuwa na wameanza pia hata kuwadaa watu na pia watataka sana because they are conmen. Na ningependa kuwaelezea kwamba recruitment hakuna yenye inafanyika mahali pengine huko nje, ni hapa ndani na ni free. Hakuna mtu analipishwa anything, ni free and we expect it to be free.
And now on matters health officers in Elgeyo Marakwet have threatened to down their tools if the devolved unit fails to pay their July salaries. According to their Secretary General Benson Biwott, the medics have not received their July salaries on claims that a number of them are ghost workers. However, Elgeyo Marakwet County government has noted that they will narrow down to the ghost medics and ensure the rest receive their salaries on time.
These people were devolved. These are people who are seconded to the county government of Elgeyo Marakwet by national government. And I wondered why they are now ghost workers. So that means those who are doing the staff audit did not do a real staff audit, but they wanted to please the echo of their bosses. Because how come a whole consultant is a cost worker? How come a senior nurse who will retire in 2 months is a cost worker? So the meaning of a cost worker, the meaning of those who are rating these people as cost workers, does not meet the standard. And I want to call upon the CC for public service to resign. That is being incompetent. They received the report. it was not shared to the whole heads of department for verification, because it is so embarrassing for our senior staff to be told you are a cost worker.
Ama wafanyikazi ambao walikuwa wa county, na hivyo walipojitokeza tukawahoji na tukaelewa kwamba walikuwa wamejitokeza hivyo walichelewa, na tukawaambia kwamba tutarejesha mshahara yao baada ya kupitia mambo moja mawili, na hiyo ndio ile uhakikisho tumewapatia kwamba mishahara yao italipwa. Tumehakikisha kwamba wao ni wafanyikazi wetu na tutawalipa mishahara zao.
And now, as the Public Investment Committee continue investigating the legality of the Gazette notification that transformed the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital into a parastatal, Attorney General Justin Muturi has accused certain public officials colluding with certain agencies to undermine the will of the public.
The work done by the membership of this committee, Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, therefore automatically, under the provisions of the Health Act 2017, it becomes a national government entity. So, we need to know, can the Ministry of Health of its own vest something that, some property that belongs to another organization to another, create a body and say now this one which used to be yours, it now belongs to the Honorable CA. Doesn't mean this response doesn't address that point, and for me it's an important, it's a very important issue, because if Kenyatta University developed Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, then you cannot say that you have taken it away from Kenyatta University and created a parastatal and then you now own it. You would have to go again, as we have resolved in the other matter, a possibility that could be explored. You have to go through, as per the Constitution, through a process of compulsory acquisition.
AG, we want to be very categorical. We are moving, the court already ruled that the land belongs to Kenyatta University. We want your commitment and a plan. You put together a multi-agency unit which we will be there to oversee. Bwana AG, we want those there's a thing called green something that pulls down buildings very easily. We want to be there when those buildings are coming down. Then Kenyans will know that now times have changed.
Response on Kiambu, which we have given, is most unsatisfactory. I want to confirm that.
And moving on, the Senate committee tasked with probing Uasin Gishu job scam has earlier on Wednesday expelled Judy Jepchirchir, the primary dependent in the case, along with her legal team from the committee session for their refusal to retract a letter in which they accused the committee of favoring the petitioners. Victims of the First Choice Job scandal shared their accounts before the Senate committee detailing how the agency deceived them into selling their land and livestock for false promises of better opportunities.
If I am the data commissioner, I'm looking at the regulations and an application is before me, and I am required to inquire from this applicant the registration certificate, the wording of this regulation. Is it clear? Does it state it is the registration certificate from country of origin or the certificate of compliance issued by the Registrar of Companies here in Kenya to regulate the doing of business of a foreign entity in Kenya? I submit to you it is not clear, member. The registration certificate needed something further to qualify it in order for this applicant to furnish the document. What we do know for sure is that a registration certificate was issued to this data controller known as Tools for Humanity, trading as WorldCoin. It was issued with a data certificate, with a registration certificate to conduct its business of data controlling and processing. So you want to be registered as a data controller to collect information, personal data. You prefer the application and it is registered. registered. It is approved and registered. You're issued with a certificate. You need to find out who else do I need to comply with in order to be on the correct side when I am getting information from members of the public, so that I am actually transparent in my dealings. So,
well, apologies for the mix-up, but now taking a look still on the same story. Attorney General Justin Muturi now says that the WorldCoin registration and operation in the country fails to meet the legal requirements as highlighted in Article 57 of the Kenyan Constitution. Appearing before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating WorldCoin operations in the country, Muturi noted that WorldCoins lack certificate of compliance and its operations are illegal.
if I am the data commissioner, I'm looking at the regulations and an application is before me, and I am required to inquire from this applicant the registration certificate, the wording of this regulation. Is it clear? Does it state it is the registration certificate from country of origin or the certificate of compliance issued by the Registrar of Companies here in Kenya to regulate the doing of business of a foreign entity in Kenya? I submit to you it is not clear, member. The registration certificate needed something further to qualify it in order for this applicant to furnish the document. On the data commissioner to tell the applicant, please go to Registrar of Companies. No, the duty falls on the client, the company, to be in compliance with the laws, because they not only are going to be regulated by the data commissioner, but also by the Registrar of Companies.
And now the Senate committee tasked with probing Uasin Gishu jobs scam has earlier on Wednesday expelled Jody Jepchirchir, the primary defendant in the case, along with her legal team from the committee session for their refusal to retract a letter in which they accused the committee of favoring the petitioners. Victims of the first choice job scandal shared their accounts before the Senate committee, detailing how the agency deceived them into selling their land and livestock for false promises of better opportunities.
This person nimengoja since last year. Since last year, June, it was, I think, August, if I remember very nicely, it was after the World Cup. Immediately after the World Cup kicked off, that's when I go there. From that up to now, I've not received any money, any coin from that office. I also urge this committee to stand firm and act conclusive about the law which they believe on the Constitution of Kenya to help such young people who are embarrassed by such recruitment agencies in the country. Thank you.
So,
I paid 40,000. I have the receipts here with me. If you, I don't have this is the original one. If you can take the copies, okay, so that you can.
I think they've also been helping, very so helpful to the victims, because they're the ones who've been really giving us the issue of demonstration in Eldoret. And they've been working with us closely with the OCS Eldoret at the moment. And maybe in the past 2, 3, 4 years there was a problem, but at the moment they are really following up on the issues very well. So I really wish to thank them. So I don't see any problem with them. The second issue is on the issue of when you told the CS labor.
But you don't see any problem with them yet. They have
on my part.
Or because they have allowed this person to change the name.
No, on that one.
Yes. Because they must give clearance.
On that one, I think I'll whisper something to the chair.
Okay.
On another level. On the issue of CS labor being told to,
but actually they are cooperating now, more than before.
More than before.
Yeah.
That is
because of the changes that have been made.
Have been affected. Yeah. So we are seeing a very big difference.
The county security team.
Not the county commissioner is out of place. We've even asked he be removed. Yeah, because it's a big problem. But with the county commander, they got in the knees. It's okay. The OCS Eldoret.
You are aware.
And in Bungoma County, as climate changes continue affecting the agriculture sector, many farmers have been forced to resort to alternative farming methods that are adaptable to weather patterns and cost-effective. Farmers in Bungoma County have resorted to avocado farming as it does well in all seasons. The farmers have stated that they are making much more profits as compared to planting other type of crops.
Fortunately, Waisraeli walipelekwa Kenya. In this is the Kenya. It has everything. The climate even differ with the mountain and the lowland. They are all the same. And they are suitable. The soils are good. Unajua, kama ujai kula avocado ambayo imetoka, sijui kama tuko na avocado hapa karibu. Kama hujakula avocado ambayo imetoka hapa Bungoma County, wewe hujakula avocado. Because it is very good. It has what we call DM content is very high. Mafuta iko mingi. And therefore it has got very good shelf life na iko mzuri. So climate is kusumbue. We have already tested some of the soils, yes, but not all farmers. But a good question that we will try and make sure that every farmer has got an access ya kutest the soil. And we have got our partners wanaitwa KEFIS. KEFIS wamesema tuende kwao watatupatia and they will test it free. So
association who alongside the other support we are giving like distribution of seedlings through FIPS Africa and our other partners will be able to then provide the much needed training, capacity support and even extension services to the smallholder farmers to then increase their production and consequently be able to come to a place where the county level production is attracting bulk buyers and so having that pull effect because of the growth in the volume of production.
And Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has issued a warning to churches against conducting misleading teachings while launching the Code of Conduct and Guidelines governing churches in Kenya. EACC's Bishop David Oginde and other religious leaders have condemned Shakahola incident that left 420 people dead, noting that the government should be firm in dealing with the rogue preachers misleading Kenyans. This comes barely days after the government deregistered 5 churches on claims of issuing misleading teachings.
There is no absolute freedom, whether in heaven or on earth. There is no such thing as absolute freedom. So we must avail ourselves to the possibility that in my freedom, I could cross the boundaries.
But for the sake of our unity as a body of Christ, we have these guidelines. They may not be 100% according to your denomination or your church, but can we follow them so that we are operating within those guidelines so that we can even make them tighter in my denomination or we can make them, part of the ordinances in my denomination.
Self-regulation is us, the church, coming together and regulating ourselves and seeing where we have been wrong, where we did not do good things, and then rectify.
And they've been saying that in the internal forum, you cannot make somebody believe something that they don't want to believe. You can't compel them. But at the external forum, when your belief leads you to actions that endanger or harm others, at that point, the state can get involved.
Well, that right there marks the end of EBN Prime Edition tonight. We do hope that it is time to regulate, or rather have churches conduct their teachings within the guidelines and code of conduct that has been launched earlier today. And we do also hope that different churches will adhere to that and conform to the codes of conduct. Well, once again, my name is Sammy Adika. Many thanks for joining us this night. Do have a lovely night. Until tomorrow, remember to join Cynthia Nanjala at exactly 7 a.m. for EBN Morning Live.